Hey everyone, this is Chris, MTGO's Rec Start, and we're back for part 3 where I'm going to show some gameplay footage between my Tezzeret control list using the artifact creature birds and some of the other decks I faced during the tournament. And I'm up here against Esbina, who this is game 3 from round 1. He is playing Kor, but he is not playing the Cephalid Breakfast combo. He is on a White Weenie Quest deck, the old mono white quest deck that we saw from fall of 2011, I think. Anyways, a mold hand without enough mana sources there, and then unfortunately he's got a turn 1 quest, and I know that he has Argentum armor in his deck, and I have very little way to fight that. And so this one's going to be difficult because I can't really race him, try to win before he gets his quest active, unless of course he stutters too badly on land, which he did only have one plains in this opener. Really wish I'd had that Force Will in the opener hand so I could have countered that quest. Might have been a different game. He's still stuck on one land, so I'm kind of holding on to some hope here. I take out one of his creatures. I know that I'm going to need to make sure that he has um, hopefully keep him off of targets. Now he's going to go ahead and blow the Core Outfitter, even though that's a nice follow-up. You want to play the Core Outfitter later after I've wiped your board or killed the guy that has the armor on it so that you can attach it without having to get to 6 mana. The Divining Top comes into play. I know that it's probably inevitable at this point that he's going to get that quest active, and so my plan is to find a Damnation and find some way to, because once I can wipe his board, I know he's already spent an outfitter, and so hopefully once I do that, I can take care of it. Now, he's got an active Argentum armor here, and I don't know about this use of it. He's attacking my lands, but really again, unless he's got a second outfitter in hand, and he may, the biggest danger to him is that he gets this Argentum armor stranded on the battlefield. And so I don't know why he's attacking the lands when I have an active top, and surely can find find my lands that way. Again, all I really need is a land here at this point, and I get a Damnation and wipe his board and set him way back. Whereas if he just uses this attack trigger to blow up the Baleful Strix, he's coming in for 14 damage this turn, and he's going to put this game away pretty quickly. So I think probably in this position, unless I knew I had another Core Outfitter, I think it'd be more productive just to kill my blocker and come in for the damage and try to close out the game quickly before I can do anything about it. But unfortunately, I am not able to find the Damnation that I need, so I have to shuffle away. He's going to keep blowing up lands, and at this point, I have to go ahead and take the 4th land, which I know that I need. He's got a Stoneforge Mystic for a sword of Feast and Famine. And I just decide take my shot here, see if I can find it, because otherwise I'm dead on board just from the damage he has coming in. But unfortunately, there it is. So I lost that match against that interesting quest deck. Now I'll show a couple I played against Big Brother's Beast deck, which I commented on a couple of weeks ago. And here's game 1. He's on a Naya Beasts list, kind of a mid-range list. I liked it and featured it in the article a few weeks back again. He's got no 2-drop there, even though I know he has Woolly Thoctors and Celadon Yearlings, so he's got a slow hand here. I'm going to go ahead and throw out the Aven Riftwatcher, even though nothing's really going on there that I need to protect it from. And he goes ahead and Naya Charms it, blows it up. And I think we're going to find out here in a second he's on the Planeswalker plan. No, it's just the Sheevan Wumpus game. Okay. I think I lost game 1 against him, too. He had a bunch of Planeswalkers, which were very difficult for my deck to deal with. I let that Sheevan Wumpus go because I had 2 Damnations in hand and figured I could just go ahead and do that. He suspends a Gargadon and then tries to cast Ajani's Vengeance, and I knew from game 1 that the Planeswalkers were going to murder me, so I just considered that a must counter, basically. And there's a top. Alright, another Sheevan Wumpus, and I think I bury this one. Yeah, I do, because I only need 4 lands, so I'm fine with that. Alright, now we got a little bit of action. There's a sword and Tidehall Strix found off of the Tezzeret. And all these games where I have an active top always felt pretty good. So, Contested Cliffs comes out here, and this is a way for him to get some use out of a Sheevan Wumpus, even if I decide to bury it, because he can do this with the trigger on the stack. Which, of course, he does. Not so. The Contested Cliffs, not a powerhouse against all of my Death Touch guys, however. Alright, go ahead and pump that Sensei's Divining Top. And throw a Sword of War and Peace on it. So I got a top carrying a sword somehow. And that Sword of War and Peace, big problem for him. He's going to crash in with the Wumpus, but this is a race that I'm going to win. Ajani Vengeance going to tap down a land there. And I'll top and find that Rift Watcher. It's a backup sword carrier. I know he can pick that off, though, with the Contested Cliffs. But anyways, at least I'm gaining a little bit of extra life. And he does have a suspended Gargadon, so I kind of have to always keep that one in mind, that he could have a lot of damage coming out of nowhere. And he manages to get one of his green flying blockers, so he definitely had some outs to this. So that's going to delay me a turn. Raven Familiar comes in. Unfortunately, the Sheevan Wumpus has Trample. Gargadon does not. Of course, again, he can just pick off the Raven Familiar. So it was very, very good that I was able to get this thing equipped while he did not have that Contested Cliffs online. Now I've got a Force of Will with a blue card in hand, though, so I'm not too worried about anything he does. In a pinch, I can always even counter this Gargadon if I can't get there. He empties his hands so that he doesn't take that last point of damage. Again, just buys one more time. The Tidehall Strix, he does not Contested Cliffs. Of course, would kill him, his own guy. Realm Razor, I'm not really sure if that would have bought him another turn there or not, but I decided to just get rid of it. And Greater Gargadon is going to come down, but he does not have quite enough damage to finish me off with it. So that's how that game is going to end when I come back and kill him with the top. Let's take a look at one more game. This is, I believe, Game 3, which ends in rather interesting fashion. I don't really have a lot going on in this game until the very end. He leads on a Birds of Paradise, and he's got a Celadon Yearling there. Alright, and I'm pretty sure I draw a Force here. Yeah, okay. So I draw the Force of Will here, and then my thinking is I'm going to save this Force of Will. I don't play out the Baleful Strix. I did the math. I have a pretty good chance of drawing a blue card, but I didn't want to take the risk of not drawing a blue card and then having him be able to resolve a Planeswalker this turn, since he will get to 4 mana. And I thought, and of course I would turn out to be wrong, that that was the reason he kept the hand that wasn't very otherwise aggressive, because he knew those Planeswalkers were wrecking me in Game 1. So out comes a sword here. Okay, now he's got Bloodbraid Elf into Naya Charm. I get lucky there because Naya Charm is a complete whiff on that board state. Alright, now I'm down to 10. And so this sets up a rather interesting play. He's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 permanents right now. And the Gargadon is going to tick down to 8. So there's a definite possibility here that if he wanted to go all in on the Gargadon, he has the opportunity to do that. I go ahead and I have to use that fetch land to get down to Damnation him. And that puts me at 9, which has to look very tempting to that Greater Gargadon. And indeed, Big Brothers takes the plunge here and sacrifices his entire board to cast the Great Gargadon, which would come in for lethal, but I was able to take it out with the Force of Will. So a risky play there with Big Brothers. I actually think from that board, I really think he probably could have won that game if he'd just let it go long. Greater Gargadon, great way to get some value out of your creatures when I'm damnationing them. He didn't have all that terrible. He could have recovered from that. I didn't have a heck of a lot in hand, although I did have the sword, and so once the sword gets online, he may have figured he needed to close out the game before that happened. But I think he could have won from that position, and going all in there was a little bit risky, but he did, and paid the price there. So anyways, thanks for joining me this week, and I will see you next week.